Hello everybody and welcome to episode 10 of the Let's Play world. I can't even believe it. 10 episodes we've been doing this. Thank you guys so much for following along and for being my first subscribers. When I started this thing, I had said I wanted this to sort of be a community where you guys can kind of chime in and comment and we can work on build together, and I'm really excited with how this is going. Yeah, 10 episodes is a great start. Many more to come. So many things to share with you guys. I've been so busy. As you'll notice over my shoulder, I managed to get a drown head and a pufferfish head. The drown head just happened to pop up in my zombie farm. One of the little ones must have got stuck in a water stream. And then the pufferfish was just off the coast, and I bonked into it and it poisoned me and I killed it. There's that. Lots of other stuff. First of all, I put in a ton of work on the villager trading hall. And you can see here, I've got some of the sides on finally, working on the back a little bit. Still some weirdness at the very end, but I'm not sure how to handle that quite yet. Starting to do the terraforming, definitely coming together. Definitely looking really cool. The third thing is, man, look at this place. I have put in a ton of work putting the ceiling on this thing. And as you probably noticed, I added the second room. So we had the one room over yonder where we've got the heads hanging on the wall, and I built exactly the same thing over here. I put in some glowstone and some frames, and this is going to end up being our map room. Fourth thing, I did some work on our little hub here. Man, look at these guys. Just hanging out on what is that, 2 blocks up there? Not cool. Not cool. You know what? This will not stand. This simply cannot stand. We have to remedy this right now. Doot. Not on my watch, sir. No way. Whew, okay, we need to get rid of those blocks because I never want to see one of these things spawn up there again. Done. Anyway, I put in some carpet just to prevent some spawning, and I definitely will fill this out. The ceiling I did in basalt, black stone, and all of that. So I think this looks really good. So the fifth thing, I roughed this up a lot. I put some blocks missing and extras on the floor to kind of give it a rough feel. And then on the ceiling, I did a similar thing where I varied these a little bit to give it a little bit more of a cave type vibe, like we're actually doing some mining, and I think it's starting to look really cool. I'm very happy with this. All right, let's put some of these maps up here that I've collected. Very nondescript. I think it goes here. I'm probably wrong. What's this one? This one goes here. What is this one? This one is trading hall. And I thought these were a lot further apart, but they're only one map away from each other. Yeah, there's the base. That's all the distance between those two. They're a lot closer than I had anticipated. See what do we got here? Got the dark oak forest. That goes there. Yeah, I think this one actually goes here. There we go. Perfect. So, yeah, we've got our base and our little cabin where we started off. Down here, we've got our holding cell and our zombie farm. And then over here is our villager trading hall. And what I plan on is building a road between these two. You know, kind of a nice road. And then having farms on either side of it. And I think today we're going to build the first one of those farms. I'm going to do a thing real quick. I'm going to type trigger ch toggle turn, and that'll turn off the heads-up display in the middle of the screen there. There it goes. I find that really handy, especially when building or exploring, to be able to see my coordinates and directions. But with things like we're doing today, where we're just kind of hanging around the base, we don't really need that, and I think it frees up a lot of screen real estate so we can see quite a lot more. So anyway, we'll turn it back on if we need it. Well, my friends, it is that time of year where everything seems to have pumpkin in it, and this episode is no different. This is going to be a pumpkin farm episode. This is where we're going to build it, and we're going to use a design that I've made a whole bunch of times that is created by Xisuma, and I'll leave a link in the description so you can check out the original video. It's an old one, And it's not the most efficient farm or, the most lossless farm, but it just works really well and it looks really cool, I think. And so that is what we're going to build. The neat thing about this farm is it's tileable, so you can build it as tall or as short as you want. I'm going to go, I think, 8 layers, and this is really all that you need to do it. So it's a real simple farm and, yeah, real easy to build. So we'll just grab all this stuff and then get to it. So you do want to leave a little bit of space at the bottom so that you have some room to create some sort of transport system for your drops. So I'm going to build up about 5 blocks. So this farm basically just has 2 layers. So the first layer, you do some blocks so, and then we're going to do a ring of dirt. And then we just want to put the 3 blocks on each side of that ring. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to put a redstone torch in one corner and the opposite corner. And that's layer 1. The second layer, you're going to put piston each side of the center like that. You have regular block top of each of these. And then you're going to put a redstone torch on each side of that. And then you do want a block floating there and the one floating here. Now on that corner and that corner we put redstone torches. On these corners we want to put regular torches. Cool. That's really it. And then repeat.
A few moments later.
And now we have 2 layers of the farm. And so, like I said, you can keep doing this as high as you want to go. We're going to do 8 modules, so 16 total layers. And so I'm just going to keep working on that. So basically what happens here is you have these 4 spots where you can grow pumpkins or melons. All of the redstone is linked together. So if you just have an input at the bottom, it will trigger the entire farm to launch these pistons. The pistons shoot the pumpkins into the water in the center and the water stream flows down and then you collect them at the bottom. There's a couple ways I've done this. I've put a button at the bottom so I can just walk up, push the button, and harvest the farm. I've also put it on a clock where it just kind of counts and harvests every so often. And that's probably what I will do to start. Once you have a really good, surplus of pumpkins, you might not need it running all the time. And you could certainly switch to a button at that point. But that's really it. It's a super simple farm. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the building 9 by 9, but the base of the building, I think we're going to make 1 wider. It'll be 11 by 11 at the base, just to give it a little more interest and look like there's a foundation. And that will allow me to cram a clock in this little space right here without interfering with the water stream and all that. So let me piece something together real quick here. All right, I've got it. So let me show you what's going on here. This is now an 11 by 11 footprint. And I have put a Etho hopper clock up against the side here. If you don't know what an Etho hopper clock is, it is one of the most useful circuits that you can learn in Redstone. I use it all the time. And what's really cool is it always takes up 12 blocks worth of space. But you can put it this way, like I have, where it's 2 blocks tall, or you can make it so it's 2 blocks wide. Works exactly the same. And it's just one of the most useful circuits ever. Basically, all that it is 2 hoppers facing into each other, and you put a bunch of items in this hopper. Now, since this hopper is not powered, and this one has a redstone block on it that's powering it, this hopper over to the left is locked. And so these items here will flow on over. As soon as this is full, the comparator will detect that, send a signal over here, which turns on this piston and pushes the block across. Now this hopper is locked, and so all of the items that were here want to now flow over from the unlocked hopper. And this just keeps happening over and over. So basically what you're getting is this redstone block getting pushed back and forth, back and forth. Every time it's in this position, it lines up with this redstone dust here. And this redstone dust is going to come through this block, and I have this block sitting on top of a piston. The reason I'm doing that is if this comes over and powers this line, I'm going to get a constant signal. And I don't want that. I just want a pulse. And so what happens here is this redstone comes along this way, powers this piston, which extends this block and breaks the signal. So just a real quick signal will come through. The repeater amplifies it and sends it up here. Oops. And then it splits. So it's going to go in this direction and this direction. This repeater pushes it into that block. This repeater pushes it into that block. And then I just have a chain of torches, just a torch tower on either side. And the way that works, of course, is if a torch is powering a block, then a torch that is on that block will get inverted and turned off. So now this torch is not powering that block, so this torch can stay on, etc. And when you send a signal into this block, it inverts this one, so no power in here, so this can turn back on. So now power into here, so this turns off, and it flips that signal. So let me put some items in here and kind of show you how this works. Let me put that one piece of redstone back that I broke. So we'll put a really short turnaround here. We'll just put like 15 items in there. You'll see those start to flow over to the other hopper, and the redstone block is there. Now what happened was this moved over, pulse came through here, and all of the items are moving back over. And like I said, that just keeps repeating over and over. And you can see that when this pops up, the signal gets broken. So the signal stops right there. And then what happens is this torch tower gets inverted when that signal comes through. Just for a second. If this was a constant signal, then what would happen is all the pistons would fire, and they would stay fired until the block moved back across. And we're going to put a bunch of items in here so that this happens really infrequently. And so we don't want the pistons to stay extended because then my pumpkins won't grow. So if we can get just a pulse, it extends, it retracts, and then the pumpkins can start growing again. And we'll get this going so it maybe happens every few minutes and see how that treats us. Looks like some pumpkins are already starting to come down. So we're going to put about 3.5 stacks. So it'll take quite a while for all of that to move across. And then we'll get pumpkins. I'm going to try and seal up this water stream so I don't get any accidental washing away of my redstone. And then I've just set up a hopper and a chest down here to collect anything that comes down this water stream. And we'll come up with a better solution for storing all the pumpkins. I've got some ideas. All right, I did a little testing, and it seems to move the block back and forth about every 1.5 minutes. So I get the pistons firing about every 3 minutes. I had a couple of torches in the wrong place. If you look at the side of it, it should be same, you know, and then if you look at the next side, it should be consistent all the way up and down. So, you know, redstone, that's wrong right there. So here what would happen is the redstone torch would invert, and then it would stop there, and it wouldn't go any higher. I'm going to do a couple of quick fixes, and then we should have a fully functional farm. All right, I did a couple of laps and investigated, and I think I got it all straightened out. If you end up with pumpkins that just don't get harvested, it's usually because you're missing a torch or a torch is on the wrong side, something like that. Something else I noticed is I had to put a little bit of a delay on the repeaters just so that there was a long enough signal for the torch to actually invert. If I had no delay on the repeater, it would just flash on and off so quickly that it wouldn't pass the inversion onto the next one. So yeah, just, you know, you got to play with it a little bit. And then once you kind of figure it out, just kind of set it and forget it. So in these few moments, 17 pumpkins, we're off to a good start. So I'm just going to let this thing run and see what we end up with. I just got a crazy good idea. So I was thinking about how much white concrete I'm going to need. And I was like, gosh, how can I get white dye without a skeleton farm? And then I realized, you know, we have this pumpkin farm. Maybe I could compost a bunch of pumpkins and get bone meal that way. And then I remembered we have an iron farm. And we get tons of poppies. So if I could create an item filter to turn that into bone meal, that might be really awesome. I think we can make this work. All right, I think that's going to be enough room. Okay, so we've got the one that's going to go into the filter, and then the one that's going to go into the chest. Down with some dust on it. Awesome. Should lock that hopper. Yeah. All right, I think that works. Let's see, I think here's where we're doing our filtering. So I'm going to put items that will never show up in there, and then some poppies. Those should start flowing through into our chest, yes. Now hypothetically, iron and poppies will come through here, and then the filter will allow poppies to go through, and then the iron will continue across. That is the plan. I hear an iron golem dying right now. Yep. Awesome. That's exactly what it's supposed to do. All right, the next step is a little bit trickier. Let's see what happens here. Can you not load composters through the side? Apparently not. All right. There it goes. So you can only load a composter from the top. Got it. Okay. And we're getting bone meal. Great. I wish there was a way to get this up here. Okay, I think I've got enough room down here to do this. So let's see. I like to put cobble underneath my redstone builds, just so if ever in the future I'm digging around, I don't accidentally dig through the bottom of it, which I've totally done before, and it's really frustrating when you somehow get in there and break something. Yeah, cobble is never natural, and so if you're digging along and you run into cobble, you know you're going to bump into your own build. Let's see. That's going to go like that, and that'll be like that. Right?
A few moments later.
Okay, so I have my composter coming down into this hopper chain, which then goes into a dropper. I've got a little clock circuit here that whenever something enters the dropper, this will fire it off, and then it just climbs up these droppers into the chest. If you want to see more about this little clock circuit, I have a video called 6 Simple Trash Cans, and it talks all about moving things automatically through droppers. And voila, there we go. So we've got our iron and then our little bone meal collection next to it. That's pretty awesome. Wonder if there's a way we can get these poppies into that system so that they start doing their thing. I'm sure there is. All right, I got all the poppies out of the system here, so it's just iron now. And we're doing really well on bone meal, which means we're doing really well on white dye. So this is going to work out great. All right, let's go check on this thing. And, oh, nice. Almost a stack. So, yeah, this thing is working great. It's doing its job, and we'll rack up a whole bunch of pumpkins, which in turn will rack up a whole bunch of emeralds. Real quick note, you might notice that the grass is swaying again, and things like torches have a little bit more brightness to them. The mod that I used, the canvas mod, to make the rendering a little smoother, just got an update just today, so I just turned it on. I'll leave a link in the description talking about the different mods I use, because I try to really maintain a vanilla kind of feel, but it's nice to have some, you know, quality of life type mods when you want them. So anyway, I think that's where we're going to wrap it up today. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you had fun. Got quite a lot done today, and I'm pretty excited for where things are headed. Please like and subscribe if you want to follow along on the adventure, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.